I'm a little sweaty, so if I look sweaty and have a giant mark on my face, it's because VR. Anyway, we're all here. We're ready to go. This is episode 12 of the music podcast, I think. This week, we made a terrible mistake a second time, and we picked the worst possible albums we could think of and subjected ourselves to them. In some countries, this would be considered torture, and you're right. So, It is. But we subjected ourselves to this willingly for some reason, and we're going to tell you what we thought. So, we've got, let me pull up the albums list here. Here we go. We've got Epic by Blood on the Dance Floor. That tells you about where we're at, right? Chocolate Starfish and Hotdog Flavored Water by Limp Bizkit. What's Your Medium by the Droid, and Torch the Faith by Psychosexual. Whoever wants to go first. Wait. The stream can't hear you. The stream can't hear you.
You know what? I think it is a good idea for
right.
Steven to go first.
All right, we're good. Stream can hear you now. All good.
All right, so let's start with what is, in my opinion, the absolute worst album on this list.
Yes,
I agree with you.
Everyone agrees, yeah.
By fucking far. By far.
So everyone was picking their albums, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cringe. This is cringe-inducing. Yeah, I can see myself cringing to this, but we need to go deeper.
Oh, God.
And harder. And more sexual.
Uh-huh.
And then I remembered
God,
Blood
I feel
on the
creeped
Dance
out.
Floor exists.
You
After all, what could be more cringy than a, what did you call it, crushcore?
Crunkcore.
Crunkcore.
Yeah.
Crunkcore band with horrible electronic instrumentals fronted by a pedophile. So I chose Epic because I remember myself, I'm about to damn myself for eternity. I can hear the unlimited ammo sound from Call of Duty playing in everyone's head now. I used to listen to this album unironically.
Continue.
My favorite songs off of this were Candyland and Sexting. I'm going to go on and spoil something for you.
Okay.
I don't like this anymore.
Thank you. He has seen the light.
But
He
have
has
you
seen the light, Lord.
have you ever, like when you watch a really, really, really bad B movie or a really, really terrible soundtrack, and you're like, you unironically find yourself kind of grooving because you listened to it as a kid?
Yeah.
And nostalgia wants you to like it, but you just don't. That is how I felt about everything on this album. I was just like, wow, this is pretty good. No, stop. Don't think that. Stop. Do not regress. Do not go down the rabbit hole. Stop now. You dyed your hair blue once. It was a mistake. Don't
I'm in
do it.
danger.
So, compared to everything else, this is like, there's shit.
Uh-huh.
And then there's like that flower in the Amazon that produces rotting meat smell.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what this album is. It's terrible. Don't listen to it. If you like to listen, Kaylee has informed me it's called the Corpse Flower.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that.
But yeah, don't listen to this. It's horrible. That is my notes on the
Okay.
album.
I'll go next because my thoughts on this are really short.
Okay.
So, ranking all of the albums that we picked, this one is absolutely the bottom.
Yeah.
To tell you how bad this was, I tried to listen to it earlier with the intention to listen to the whole thing, got to the first song, and was just like, wow, this sucks so bad I don't want to listen to the whole thing. Let's skip around a bit. Let's skip around to a couple tracks, right? So I listened to a few seconds of maybe 2 or 3 more songs, and I'm like, yep, this is garbage. This sucks. The lyrics are bad. I remember he said something about spaghetti, I want to say. I don't even remember, and it was so fucking corny. It gave me chronic diarrhea. It was bad. I hated it. I didn't even listen to all of it.
Did you listen to Candyland by chance?
No, and I don't want to.
It's weirdly catchy, and I hate that.
I hate
You don't want to see the fucking cover of it. What I mean by the
It's
cover,
so
the single cover. It is
wow.
so gross.
I,
It's so
I'm
bad.
good.
I bet
I'm
it
good.
is. You know what? For science, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
It's gross. It's fucking gross.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
bad.
Mike,
Yeah.
I thought you
It's
said
them
you really
sexually
liked it.
like licking a lollipop.
I hate that so
Oh
fucking much.
yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, Mike, didn't you love this? I thought you said you really liked this.
No, I hated this a lot. See, the funny thing is, the album that I picked is similar to this, but it's different enough. So the redeeming factor with my album, if you can call it that, is that I think that the instrumentals on the album that I picked are not bad if you remove the vocals. On this though, it just sounds cheap and not good.
Yeah.
But then again, I might be a little biased considering I actually used to like the album I picked, but we'll get to that.
I mean, I'm kind of biased on this too, but at least I willingly admit it's trash now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Colin,
Stahlman.
you
I
want to
feel
go
like,
first?
yeah, I was gonna say you might have more to say. So, this is the first time that I've taken notes. And other than everywhere at the end of time. I started off this album on the first song. The first line I wrote was, "I've never heard an album I liked less." I got 30 seconds and thought, "Why am I doing this to myself?" Stopped and said, "Okay, a different day," because holy fuck, not right now.
Uh-huh.
I think I got to the fifth song. I got 15 minutes in, and I was like, "Oh, I'm surely halfway through the album, right?" I look back and I'm like, oh, I got physically upset at the fact that I had to sit here for a whole extra hour.
Oh.
I also did some
you
research.
listened to the whole thing.
I listened to the whole fucking thing.
You're stronger than I am.
Oh,
Steven,
wait till you get to me.
I have a bone to pick with you because not only did you pick a Blood on the Dance Floor album, someone who I've known about pretty much since they came out and have vehemently ignored, actively said I'm gonna ignore them as long as I physically can. Not only did you picked their first commercial album, which just happened to be a double album being an hour and 15 minutes long. I hate you a little.
I hear the sense of terror in Conley's voice.
I hate you a little. There was
Good.
I
Hate
got
me.
to an hour. I have never been so mad at an album in my life that I had 15 more minutes to listen to. I said I would rather literally listen to anything but this. I will actually go listen to Everywhere at the End of Time after this as a cleanser.
Not gonna lie, I actually listened to a couple songs off of that a couple days ago because it's
True.
good.
Facts. There's such an overwhelming lack of talent. I don't even know how to like fully describe these two. I don't know if I can describe the lead. I don't know if I want to. Literally,
Seeing kids trying to be cool.
yeah. I said the how I described this album was if they were given a budget, they took the entirety of the budget and they spent it on clothes, whatever drug scene kids do, alcohol, and a ticket to Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Because holy fucking shit, this album is. I can't. I literally can't. The vocals make this a 0 out of 10, and the instrumental is slightly better than his vocals, but they're still some of the worst shit I've heard in my life. Like, it sounds like it belonged in 2005, yet it came out in 2010.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Easily out of the four, easily the worst.
Oh yeah, by far.
Jesus fucking Christ. Stahlman, go on ahead. I know
All
you
right.
want to do.
All right, well, in short, this is the worst fucking album I've ever listened to. This trumps Jimmy Buffett for being terrible. I was literally going through this. By the way, I had to listen to it twice because the first time I listened to it, I kind of tuned it out playing like GeoGuessr with Conley.
I can't believe you listened to this twice.
Yeah,
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
one
I'm
could
sorry for you.
Oh, I had to
One-
listen to the Medic Droid 3 times because I kept forgetting how it sounded. So, so I hate you, Conley, for delaying this, for making me listen to that a third time. But yeah. So Blood on the Dance Floor. Crap instrumentals, and they sound cheap as hell. And to further prove this point, I have on me a Korg Volca FM digital synthesizer. All right, $111. All right, they're like $150 new.
Uh-huh.
I have made a beat that sounds more expensive and better than anything on that 22 album, and this thing's been around since the 80s. Ugh. But on top of that, of course, the vocals, and I really hate it when crunkcore bands auto-tune like their screams, because it's just a terrible effect. It's just in general a terrible effect, and this album's littered through it. The lyrics are gross as hell.
No, man, it's
And
great.
it gets-
you don't wanna
And it gets
sing
even
about spitting a
creepier because
12-year-old's
the song
ass into?
Sexting has like Nintendo chiptune sounds. It has like a Nintendo chiptune beat
They
on
like
top of a
tried,
song that
they like
this-
tried to do like Nintendo Core, but like
this
it-
album
like the
is
beginning of it.
literally the equivalent of the white van with no windows with free candy sprayed upon it.
Yeah,
And
man.
that's what this album is.
You mean to
And
tell
I
me
have
you
no
don't
clue
like
why this
listening?
has to be 22 songs long. It has no business, like the Breathe Carolina album, to be that long.
I would rather have listened to Breathe Carolina than this.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Easily.
Same here. I mean, there's a couple tracks, like the beginning track where the instrumental's just like, wow, this would be okay if it had a better budget. But then you realize, like, no, they actually kind of did have a budget on that. And the fact that it came out, I just found out today that it came out in 2010. I literally thought it came out in like 2005. But 2010?
It's
Like,
it's a great album, man. I don't know why you hate it so much. I'm
like, I thought
actually
Broken Side and Millionaires were bad, but
I'm
even
gonna
if you
dye
take
my
out
hair
the fact
neon
that
pink.
Davi Vanity is being hunted down by Chris Hansen at this moment, that this is just like a huge step back, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I found the YouTube video I ended up watching for this to actually like listen to it was a very like kind of jumbled together. They had inner splicing, like, hey, this one has a video for it. I sat through the video for, I think, Believe. I also don't think I've seen a worse music video than these idiots either. If they just put forth like enough time to practice and, you know, try and be better, they would have been decent. But Jesus fuck.
No, man, it's like I said, I don't get why you guys are bashing it so much. It's really good, bro. Like were we supposed to pick cringe albums or something? Like, I think
I'm pretty sure Steve's making fun of me because I liked my pick.
like, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Limp Bizkit is a great band, man. Why would I ever judge you for it? On that note, though, I think you're up next.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. So my pick. All right. So I picked Chocolate Starfish of the Hotdog Flavored Water by Limp Bizkit. Now, this is an album that okay. One person's trash is another person's treasure.
No.
This album is my treasure, but other people consider it trash, and I can see why, because Fred Durst isn't the greatest lyricist or vocalist in the world. However, I would say that everybody behind him carries him enough, and that the band itself isn't supposed to be taken serious. However, it is to their detriment in some cases. Now, this is still one of my favorite albums. I think this is Limp Bizkit's best album. Other people would say Significant Other, which has Break Stuff and Nookie. But I think a lot of the songs on this album are a little bit stronger, especially like songs like My Way, My Generation, Take a Look Around, which is probably Limp Bizkit's best song, which really shows off Wes Borland's guitar playing, which definitely saves this album quite a bit because he has a really, really good ability to add ambiance and be able to like noodle his way through like different beats that the DJ is playing over the bass and the drums, like setting down a groove. He's really good at like Wes Borland's really good at noodling around that. And also the track that it should have ended on, which is Hold On, is actually like probably the only time where I can actually say that Fred Durst is actually like singing decently. The rest of the album, he's either like meh, okay, or god awful, like Hot Dog, which just that starting track just kind of kills whatever instrumental's going on with his whiny bullshit and ugh. But overall, I understand why people don't like it, and let's just say that I only listened to the first 3 Limp Bizkit albums. I wouldn't say that. I listened to the first 4. I only still listen to the first 3 because the 4th album's way worse because it doesn't have Wes Borland. But I understand why this is really, really cringy, especially because of Durst's vocals aren't for everybody, and just because they're extremely whiny. And lyric-wise, it's basically like written by a 13-year-old, but the dude's 30 instead. But there are worse things that Fred Durst has done besides being the vocalist of Limp Bizkit. Him being an A&R guy is responsible for Puddle Mud and Stained. He got them discovered and famous. And he also made a movie with John Travolta in it. I forget what it's called, but it's a very, very terrible movie. But that being said, I think this isn't the worst album out of the things that I picked, that we've all picked. I figured that some people, I'm ready to get eviscerated for liking this album because I get knocked on by all my friends for liking this album.
All right, buddy.
But I'm ready. I'm ready for it, and all I gotta say is at least this isn't Blood on the Dance Floor, and Fred Durst isn't as problematic as Davey Vanity, and that's all I got going for me on this. And I will also say that my music taste but me liking this album does not reflect the rest of my music taste. This is an outlier. This is by far an outlier.
I really, really wish I had an AK-47 so that I could just pull the clip trigger back and you could hear the crack as I'm about to unload a hailfire of hate upon you.
Oh boy.
All right, so let's start. This album should have been called Self-Titled EP because what it sounds like is what hot dog water tastes like, and probably what chocolate starfish tastes like as well. An unwashed one that hasn't been washed in like 4 years. This album sounds like ass. Let's see. What else I got going for me? Oh yeah. See, at least I can say I don't like Blood on the Dance Floor anymore. You clearly do. And in fact, you were defending it. Here, I thought of this while you were trying to defend it.
Fastest selling rock album ever of all time.
I understand that, but fastest selling does not mean best. Nickelback sold a lot of albums, and you see where that got them.
Hey, what was on our last episode?
So let me explain to you what it sounded like when you were trying to defend this album. To me, it sounds like those lawyers that you see on the mid-time television, they get up to the booth and they know their client is convicted, but like they're trying to like okay, look, man, I promise I know he stabbed that guy, killed his kid, and stole that car, but he did like an hour of community service when he was 13 years old. So he's not really a terrible person. He just made a few bad mistakes, you know? And that's kind of the vibe you were giving off trying to defend this album. And of course, we all have something trash in our life that we defend to the hilt. I really like Jim Carrey, but
That's a bad
uh,
thing?
I love Jim Carrey.
I mean,
Yeah.
or well, Jim Carrey's probably not a great one. Adam Sandler would be a better one.
Okay,
Um,
more fair.
Okay.
More fair than Jim Carrey.
But so yeah, like th- look, man, I understand my pick is terrible. Yours at least had some good guitar riffs. But that why? Why did you make me listen to Fred Durst? I would
That's
have
what it's
I
boiled
would
down
have
to.
willingly listened to
well,
Meatloaf over
The
this.
I actually seen Meatloaf in concert.
Oh god. I'm starting to see a theme here.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was interesting because he was drunk and just kept insulting people.
That sounds like Godsmack when I went to see him. I went to see him at CPR Fest down here a couple of years ago, and he threw his beer at the stage manager when they told him his set time was up.
Oof.
Jesus.
Shit was funny.
Uh, yeah, I think it also has to do with the fact that I'm just a huge fan of Wes Borland, and I also like the fact the thing I like about Limp Bizkit the most is that what kind of made new metal like drew me to like a lot of new metal is that they're good at a lot of bands are good at building up tension, and then in the chorus is kind of like that climax release, as in like like the bomb's gonna go off and then the bomb just explodes on the chorus. And the person that really does that musically very, very well is Wes Borland. And Fred Durst is able to pull it off to varying degrees.
Yeah, you want to know what that climax for me was?
Hmm.
When I
When the album
finally
finally
finished
ended?
when I finally finished the last song on the album.
Which I hate. I hate the outro. I think the
Oh.
outro is fucking stupid.
I was just like,
I thought
oh
the first part was
god,
kind of funny.
finally.
I thought it was.
I
kinda
mean,
funny.
it was funny, but like you have like the one of the best songs of the album, "Hold On," which would have been great for it to end the album off, and then they added like a remix version of "Rollin'," and then they have the outro, which is like 9 minutes long.
10 minutes. It's 9 minutes and 50 seconds. It's a little long,
Jesus.
but it was funny.
But it was funny, but it kind of kills the vibe of what "Hold On"
Yeah, I guess.
does. Like to me, the album's flawed, but and I could see why no one likes it because Fred Durst, and it's very well. And Steve definitely described it right. With me being the lawyer, like, hey, what am I gonna do? I gotta give you guys something. All right, I don't know. I vibe to it.
let me not be misunderstood though. This album is definitely the best out of it. And
Yeah.
man, when we get to Mike's album, am I gonna tear him a second asshole? But we'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll go on and leave it there though.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. Still talking about Limp Bizkit. Goddamn. Okay. So actually, out of all of the albums, this was the least bad and was probably, if you could call it that, the best. Admittedly, admittedly, I did not finish the whole thing, but I feel like I listened to enough to kind of get an idea of what they were going for, right? I will say that this wasn't. I'm not too familiar with Limp Bizkit, admittedly, so this was kind of like my first intentional exposure to them, I guess you could say. Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not particularly great. Like, there's nothing special about it. They're not really trying to do anything groundbreaking. I guess you could argue maybe at the time, maybe, but like listening to this now, it's just kind of it's whatever. It's like
This was basically them at their peak. They got big off of like Significant Other,
yeah.
Yeah.
which was the one before this.
Yeah, so like listening to this now, it's just kind of like inoffensive kind of new metal, right? Like I think my only complaint with this is that the intro is kind of corny. I didn't really like the intro very much, but like instrumentally it was fine. Honestly didn't think that Fred Durst's vocals were very bad, but I do get that maybe the lyrics are kind of, as you said, something that a 13-year-old would write and think is edgy, but it was all right, honestly.
My heart bleeds for pizza is something he would write for an album.
That's something I would write for an album. My heart does bleed for pizza.
Fair.
Well, I mean, they are coming out with a new album.
Oh, fuck.
Plot twist, in a week they come out with My Heart Bleeds for Pizza. You thought the government was listening to us this whole time, but it was actually just bands. Mike's not even a musical oracle. They just like, they join our Discord, listen, and they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. An entire
Like
concept
it was
album
weird that
about
it was weird
butts.
that happened to me once, and then it happened twice, and then a third time, and now I've lost track.
It's happened like 6 times so far.
I swear.
Yeah. So when we first put these all 4 albums down, I told Stahlman what albums I think he should listen to in order, because I'm like, the worst album by far is Blood on the Dance Floors.
Mhm.
Personally, I find Mike's pick the second worst, mine being third, and Stahlman's being the least. And I think after listening to them all, I think I was right in my assessment.
Oh,
or at least
you
for
were
me.
right. You were right.
So
Ooh, cocky there, aren't we?
well, at least in my opinion, I thought I was right. In the ways that I guess dislike every album. So something that I think I may have mentioned before, I really like new metal.
Yeah.
I am new metal trash. So I very much like a lot of the bands that kind of became popular around the same time when Bizkit got popular.
Ooh, buddy.
The difference is I cannot stand Fred Durst almost entirely. He is such an unlikable personality that it almost ruins the entire listening experience. Throughout this album, I will give Stahlman this. I don't hate Roland. I don't hate.
Oh fuck! I forgot about
I don't hate Roland. I don't hate. Take a Look Around. In fact, Take a Look Around might actually be my favorite song on this album, or the one that I could actually play and be like, I like this, or don't hate it. This is definitely, at least in my opinion, the least bad out of every album. I think that it is kind of a theme that the instruments are, or at least the instrumentals are performed or done a little better than the vocals have in most of our albums this week. Same fucking thing goes for this. I actually like the band playing behind Durst. I actually think they're a half decent new metal band. It's just that if they had someone other than Fred Durst, I probably would have actually liked them when they came out, or at least when I started listening to them, I should say. Other than that, though, I fucking hate Fred Durst. I fucking hate him, and I don't think anything's gonna make me not hate him, or at least not enough for me to stomach him. I will go back and listen to some of these singles. Like, I'll listen to Take a Look Around maybe once or twice again, but these like random singles off of any of his random albums, I hate him enough. That's not happening. The fact that this is somehow the least bad pick of the week hurt my soul to say. Fucking hurts to say that this is the least bad.
Then, okay. I'll go next then if you're done. So my pick.
Oh boy.
Medic Droid's What's Your Medium? So yeah, I basically listened to this album in high school alongside bands like Breathe Carolina and Devil Wears Prada and We Came as Romans. I was metalcore trash in high school, basically. But also this somehow ended up in there. So looking back on this album now, I will say that the instrumentals honestly aren't bad, I think. Like, listening to this now, I kind of caught myself grooving a little bit, but then I remembered that, oh, wait, I'm supposed to not like this anymore. Right. The vocals aren't fantastic. They're the worst part of the whole thing. Like I said, if you take the vocals out, like, it's not... I think that this would be a mediocre electronic album. But that's my thoughts on the music. But interesting story about this album. So, I posted this in the Discord, but I have to find it. So, back in high school, I was kind of dabbling with music production, and I was dabbling with this program called Virtual DJ that I never really got good at. But I took the song Tease off of this album and mashed it up with a song that I made, and I posted that to the Discord. It's on my SoundCloud, so if you listen to that, okay. It's not great. It's pretty bad. But if you haven't yet, maybe go back after this episode and see the monstrosity that I've created. I apologize for that. Also, the dude that sings in the Medic Droid. So this band doesn't exist anymore. They broke up. But I think the dude's name is Johnny Droid is the name he goes by. He actually started a band Robots with Searle. That Searle. And they never released anything. They just announced, hey, we're a band, and then proceeded to do nothing.
Like, surreal?
Who is Searle?
Pretty rave girl guy, I believe.
Okay.
Surreal is how his name is pronounced.
Whatever. Anyway, Johnny Droid personally messaged me on Tumblr and was like, hey, thanks for supporting our band. Check out our new band. And then I was just like, no thank you.
Oh, that's pretty cool of him.
I think he might follow me on Twitter also, but his account's been dead since like 2013, so...
Now, the important thing is, does he follow your Twitter or the forbidden Twitter?
My Twitter.
Okay.
I don't know what other Twitter you're talking about.
Sure you don't.
But anyway, yeah, take away the vocals and it's a mediocre electronic album. That's all I've got to say about it.
So Mike.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
Blood on the Dance Floor at least gave me some nostalgia vibes.
Oh boy.
I turned this on, and I didn't have the rose-colored glasses.
Uh-huh.
And the beat starts, and I'm like, okay. Oh no. Where to begin? I've seen shit that looks more appealing than this. Simon Cowell probably would not even be able to begin to describe it. He would just have an aneurysm from how bad this album is. I like some trash. And I listened to some trash in middle school and high school. Oh wait, I have some notes here. Things that sound better than this album. The sounds of nails on chalkboard. Dirt scraping across a wooden floor. That Limp Bizkit album that I just listened to. Dear God, how is that possible? Oh, wait. Nah, here's my favorite one. Things that sound better than this. My ex's voice. Things more appealing than this. My ex's. The floor. A concrete jail cell. Yeah, it's just, the notes are basically just me writing out me riffing on this album while it's playing in the background. because I needed something to do to distract me from wanting to rip my fucking eyes out. This was bad. If this is what crunkcore is, it should be abolished. The entire music genre. Just the whole thing. It just seems overly populated by pedophiles and people who think they can make music, but they really can't.
Yep.
And that's all I gotta say.
I'll go real quick because I don't really have mine. Isn't too long either.
Mine,
This, huh?
mine isn't either. So.
Oh, okay. Well, this isn't. This is better than Blood on the Dance Floor, but not by much.
Mhm.
I felt this. Not only did this feel like somehow a surprisingly, and I think Stahlman mentioned it, a surprisingly forgettable album, because I listened to it twice, and as I started listening to the first song again, I was like, yeah, I hardly remember this album I listened to it like only days apart, and I was like, I hardly remember this album. It felt. I don't like the guy's vocals, but that's a fucking given. I mean, the
Yeah.
vocals on all of these are just not good, in my opinion. But I do think that while the vocals are really just not fucking good, the music is. I'd give it. It's an okay electronics. If you just ship it as an electronic album, no vocals at all, it would have been another electronic album that probably fell to the wayside that no one would have listened to.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I didn't care about these guys enough to look at it, but the leads, whoever does the most of the vocals, I felt like if he would have tried a little harder or like practiced a little more, he would have sounded even marginally better. I think if he would have tried, I could have seen the lead vocalist having a decently better career after if he would have at least tried. It just feels like they weren't fucking it felt like he wasn't trying like at all. And if he would have tried and actually tried to do something decent, they would have made something that was better than this, I guess. I don't know. That's it.
It's bad, man. I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate all of these, but I don't know why I specifically hate Mike's.
Yeah. Well, Stallman.
All right. Yeah, this album's actually very forgettable. Like the vocals are terrible. It's the whiny autotune screams that I really don't, which I think is like the death knell of most crunkcore. Besides like cheap like beats. However, I would say like the production on this, like the electronic, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a heck. It's miles
Yeah.
above Blood on the Dance Floor. As a matter of fact, I was actually kind of somewhat until the vocals came in, was enjoying like the first song on the album because I'm like, wow, this isn't Blood on the Dance Floor. And another positive that it has going for it, it's 8 songs,
Yeah.
so I don't have to suffer through a lot. But what really kind of bugged me the most, now I'm not saying like this is good by any means necessary. The album's trash, but it's kind of forgettable, which is a positive. Like
It's
I- it's not-
forgettable
it's not-
trash.
it's not in my brain where I'm just like I didn't feel physically sick listening to the album, so
I'm not going to be thinking
There's
about this
that,
album the next
but-
week, unlike Blood on the Dance Floor. It's not going to
Right,
be.
yeah.
It's not forever ingrained into my brain.
but that album cover though is like is really bad, and that's the cringiest thing that I've seen besides the medic droid themselves, which look like 40-year-olds that have like scene girl wigs on.
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty good.
But but the album cover looks like they took like a supermodel from like a Vanity Fair album cover, not album cover, magazine cover, and then just like photoshopped scene kid's hair on top of her, and then photoshopped her more so that way she looks anorexic, and then put in like some like fashion typeface on it. And to me, it's just like, judging by like the music and the album cover, don't necessarily match that much because like it looks more like a Fashion Week magazine cover than it does like an album cover, and that really kind of like, I don't know, bugged the hell out of me because I'm just like, why the hell would someone see that album cover? I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but let's face it, most people go for albums with decent album artwork, and to me, it's like it's a very bland album artwork, and it doesn't really fit the style of music that's kind of like about like really really bad flashy scene kid stuff. This was like very very tamed and boring, much like the rest of the album. But I don't know, I'm kind of rambling at this point. Like there
Yeah.
isn't really much to say. It's a boring album that has like really cringy vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of leaves my album. So, for those who may not remember, this band Psychosexual was formed after the drummer for Five Finger Death Punch, Jeremy Spencer, left the band after medical issues. He stated he decided to make a new band as himself as a frontman with this little persona that he likes to call the Devil Daddy.
Oh,
I hate it.
that
Every-
sounds like a Basil Boss character.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
boy.
bad because I didn't know this, but he released music under his own moniker, not just Psychosexual. And after listening to this,
Under-
Daddy.
Under us, Devil Daddy.
The Devil Daddy. Yep, just Devil Daddy. Every time I say it, it hurts a little. Because not only is he like cringy as fuck, but the fucking lyrics in this album, they were probably the next. They were pretty fucking painful to listen to. Trying to actually like sit here and like think about these lyrics meant that I probably put more thought into it than they did. I mean, I guess to be fair, the first probably 4 songs are the most egregious with the like overly sexual like imagery. But there's something about Jeremy Spencer. I don't think he should be like a frontman ever at all, because he just does not have he doesn't
I
have
don't
that.
think any of these bands should have frontmen.
No, I don't think so. I don't think most of these bands should have existed. And this one really, truly should not have existed, because it felt like to me one of the, at least in this year, felt like one of the most like worthless, adds nothing, just overall boring, like what's the word? Thoughtless, flavorless. It felt so bland, yet they tried so hard to make it sexy, and it just felt so bland and disgusting. It's yet bland, yet also disgusting, and I don't know how he managed that. All I know is that even the instrumentals, which at times I was like, kind of like, this is I still felt this like I could hear in the beginning of one of their songs what sounded like a Five Finger Death Punch drum set, like the opening to a Five Finger Death Punch song, and I had to stop and look at my Spotify. I was like, did I switch bands on accident? But no, it's just these fucking idiots trying to sound like another band because they don't have a decent sound or anything. I don't know what else to say. I can't fucking stand these guys.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Very bad.
I thought this was a parody band of Slipknot. Like, I thought they based all of their music off of a parody of Psychosocial, and I was like, okay, I can get behind that. And then it came on, and I'm like, oh no, it's not. It's just bad. It's like bad trash emo metal. Like, I don't like this. I don't hate it, but I don't like it, and I would never listen to this again, even if you paid me, probably. And I mean, this one I don't have too much to rip on because I didn't get to listen to a lot of it, but I don't care for it. It's just
Yeah.
bad.
It's not even like bad in a good way, not even like bad in a fun way. Or
It's
like
not
bad.
even bad to where I can riff on it for being bad. It's just-
Exactly. So like even the medic droid had like the medic droid and Blood and the Ants will have enough redeeming factor that you can just say you can laugh at him for being stupid. You can't laugh
yeah,
at these guys. They're just bad.
it's sad.
It's not so bad
mean,
that it's
that's-
laughable. It's not so bad it's funny, but that almost makes it worse. Because at least when it's funny, there's some kind of redeeming factor. But when it's so bad,
Yeah,
it's nothing, then there's even less like that can be like brought out from the album.
and that's really all I have to say about it. Is just if you want bad, like not funny bad, just bad, listen to this. It's like you go to a restaurant and Five Finger Death Punch is Coke, and you order Coke, and the waitress brings you out Diet Coke instead.
But I kind of like Diet Coke.
Well, Mike, you have shit taste apparently. So
Look, Diet Coke is just a different experience from regular Coke, and
you drink
I like it.
LaCroix. Shut up.
Oh,
Look, you got me there.
yeah.
It's not that bad, hun. Kaylee said it's like they went out and instead of Coke, they scooped a pile of muddy water. That would be what Mike's album was.
It's I wouldn't say it's Diet Coke. To me, in my opinion, it's like an off-brand diet soda.
Mhm.
It's that's what
Diet Dr. Wow.
that one. Yeah, this
No,
is
it's
Diet Coke.
Diet Dr. Kitchen Spice.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
It's just mundane and boring and bad. That's really it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna add anything else to my thoughts on this. Really, because you guys basically nailed it. But this is just so boring and just not good that it's really pathetic. Like,
Mhm.
I'm looked at a YouTube comment for the music video for their song "Baby on Fire," and I posted
Yeah.
the screenshot. The singer can't sing. The music is boring and uninspired. The lyrics are stupid, and not even the hot nun can save this mess. Like, it's just so boring,
Yeah.
and the whole sex theme is just makes it really tacky and not very good. Like, I'm gonna show you the album cover for one of his solo albums, right?
Yes.
Look at this shit.
Yeah.
I hate this.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
The album name is bad. The album cover is bad. I hate the names of the songs. Why?
I think like it looks like you gave like
It looks like a
big-
low budget porn film.
it looks like you gave
cover
like
looks
it's like you gave an indie like porn studio from like the 90s like a $10 budget to make a poster.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
This doesn't look like the album cover for music. This looks like a really bad low budget porn movie poster.
Okay, guys, like, get on the couch, you know the drill, put on your hard hat, and drop your flashlight and say, oh no, I have to bend over.
Oh my god.
Or, no, wait, it's like one of them's just like, alright, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend over and you're gonna say, and I quote, what are you doing, step bro?
God.
Jeez.
Lol.
I suppose it's my turn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, 10 out of 10. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, I have
Okay,
standards, even
I
though they
would
were very
really
low because
hope
of Limp Bizkit.
someone. I hope someone just goes, "Oh yeah, man." When we do one of these Cringe episodes, everyone's bashing it, and one guy's really quiet, and he just pipes up and goes, "Well, I kind of liked that."
This is like the best thing I've heard in a
I will
while,
say this.
guys.
I
It was
will give
really
the album
good.
this. The first song is hysterically bad, but that's because I laugh at tacky shit. And
You probably like mindless self-indulgence.
Hey, that was in the last episode too.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I also do.
strongly help.
No,
So
I said it was cringy. I know it was cringy, but I still liked the album.
Really
But-
starting to see a theme here, and I don't like it, guys. We might need to get a replacement.
But the first song I thought was hysterically bad because it's kind of over the top. It's over the top with its tackiness. And I'm like, you know what? I'll actually give this album a shot. Song 3, I get to song 3, and I'm like, yeah, this is old.
Mhm.
This is old.
Yep.
Because all the songs are basically the same. Although
Mhm.
there are some varieties. There's some songs that sound like if Power Man 5000 had the dude from Theory of a Dead Man write their lyrics.
The song
There's the
Afterlife
song
Wife.
tearing you apart
Good
sounds like a shitty version of a NSYNC and Backstreet Boys esque song that they tried to turn it into industrial metal. And then throughout the entire thing, I'm like, this really sounds very familiar. Then I'm like, oh wait, I know what these guys are. They're shitty Rammstein. Literally,
Shitty
it
Ramstein.
yeah,
They
they're
have these.
shitty Rammstein.
The thing is, these aren't even like shitty. It's like literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. Shitty imitation.
Yeah, it's literally like, oh wow, you know what?
Oh, no.
You cut
But
out
Rob
there.
and just do the cookie cutter, like bare bones, like outline of
Yeah.
it. It's like It's like if someone made a band that tries to sound like Rammstein, but without actually knowing how Rammstein sounds like. They heard it from some dude that heard it from some other dude that heard it from some other dude whose sister listened to the album.
Sort of like how you're pronouncing Ramstein.
It's literally Rammstein. He says it in in one of the songs.
Oh,
I
so
know,
I was
that's
right.
the
It is
joke,
Rammstein.
Mike.
Okay. But
I hope
The
it was a
most-
joke.
Congrazzles.
But the most egregious thing on this album is that Kenny Hickey of Typo Negative does guest guitars on like one of the tracks, and I'm like, you should know better. And I literally wrote in my notebook, I hope the ghost of Peter Steele haunts you in your sleep. And what's even more egregious is that in between podcasts, like your guys' last podcast and this one, Psychosexual released an EP, a cover EP, which is called like was it like Songs to Stalk You By or something?
Yeah, songs to stalk you by. Yeah.
Hello?
And then there's also a cover of Typo Negative's "Love You to Death," which is terrible because the guy can't freaking sing.
Yeah.
And-
Jeremy Spencer's a drummer. Shouldn't fucking sing.
And by the way, I will say this: Jeremy Spencer is not the Jeremy Spencer that was in Fleetwood Mac. Completely two different people. In case some old person listens to this and gets confused, we're not knocking the original lead guitar, rhythm or lead guitar player. I can't remember if Peter Green was the original lead guitarist or rhythm. But regardless, one of the original guitar players of Fleetwood Mac. We're not knocking him. We are not. These are two different people. But I really hope that the surviving members of Typo Negative and Peter Steele's family and whoever has like gets royalties from anything with like Typo Negative got paid well to be featured by this crap band. Like, I hope Kenny Hickey this because he got a nice check. Or the dude like Jeremy Spencer like jumped in front of like a bullet or a car in front of him and he owed him a favor. Otherwise, why is Kenny Hickey on this album? There is no reason. The dude's actually talented. Why?
I don't know. I wish they gave a
Because fuck
fucking,
you, that's why.
pretty much because
Yeah.
they wanted you to be pissed off.
Just you.
Yep.
They didn't care about anyone else. They just wanted you specifically.
This was one of the this made it onto Anthony Fantano's worst albums of the year list. Just so you know.
And also, I think
Good
it
to
was
know.
also on Rocks as well.
I'm pretty sure it was too. Yeah.
If you know that.
Yes.
I
It
can
was
see
on
why.
it was on most people's worst of the year list because this was one of the worst rock albums released this year, along with the
Yeah,
trap
and here's-
album.
Yeah, and here's the thing:
Uh-huh.
coming from someone that listens to Limp Bizkit, this freaking repetitive lyrically wise,
It's
and like Fred Durst gets like that. Like
Yep.
it's not as egregious because he at least varies on what he's vaguely complaining about, but it's just the same thing over and over again, and it's like you would think it's the same song that's just going on for like an hour.
Yeah.
We wish it was the same song.
Alrighty.
But for anybody that has more of a curiosity with this album, listen to the first song, nothing else. Just go, haha, this sucks.
You need to vibrate higher.
Laugh at how bad you can't even laugh at how bad one of the songs is, and then leave.
Yeah, because by song 3, like the second one, you're like, oh wow, this isn't good. This
isn't- this
is
is-
filler.
Yeah.
This must be the filler track. Song 3. I think the rest of this is filler. And yeah, the rest of it is
the rest of it's
filler.
filler. Like honestly, the first four songs are the songs that sound like they had an idea of what they wanted to do with the band or like this album.
Mitchell Sky, thank you for the follow.
So badly.
Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, that's the albums for the week. I have a couple more things. I have a very large vinyl update, so give me a minute to go get everything.
Okay. Do you have an idea of what we should do for next week? Like if we want to do a theme or not?
I have no idea for this time. I kind of wanted to talk about Tenacious D,
Oh, okay.
but I've been listening to a lot of The Pick of Destiny lately.
In a good or bad way?
Good way.
Okay, good.
I like Tenacious D because they know what they are, and Jack Black refuses to take himself seriously.
I fucking love Tenacious D. I love them to death.
I love Jack Black
Tenacious
because
D is
how
great.
talented do you have to be to go from being a dead serious role in something like I can't think of a movie offhand, but go from being
what's that?
a dead serious.
What's that one
role.
where he's
Huh?
He's what?
There's that movie where he's like it's kind of a comedy, but he's actually plays it pretty much straight. It's the one where he's like a
boy.
bird watcher.
He's
I
a
have a
what? A
stack.
what watcher?
Bird watcher. He's like
Oh.
he's like a competitive bird watcher.
Not heard
I
of it.
can't remember, but I
Thanks,
know
Matt.
what you're talking about. But go from something like playing a serious character to, hey, man, you gotta fight Satan or else you're gonna gargle mayonnaise.
What?
Have you never
How about
heard
Tenacious D?
Tenacious? You've never heard of Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny?
No, I have, but I got up and just came back.
Oh, we were talking about like what albums we might pick for next week. Like he asked me, and I was like, I don't know. I kind of want to talk about Tenacious D.
Okay, well, got a couple more things here.
Oh,
Final
if you guys if you guys can find it, you should really look up their show that they had on HBO. It was really, really funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's been a bit since the last episode. So in that time, I bought six new things. So first up, Aphex Twin, Come to Daddy, the single. It's got Flim on it, which is probably one of my favorite Aphex Twin things. Which is notable because back in the day, Skrillex posted that song to his Facebook, and then all of his fans were just like, "Where's the drop? Where's the drop? This sucks." And bruh. Anyway,
Yeah.
good song. There's like 4 tracks on it. Really good. I like it. The album cover's great. The music video for the Pappy mix of Come to Daddy is pretty great because it's just a bunch of little kids running around with Richard D. James's face, and they're terrorizing an old lady, and it's great. Next.
Oh boy. Stahlman.
Sorry, I laughed too hard at that joke. Wait, you actually don't know how to pronounce it? It's Ghost.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh wait, my
I
audio's
kind
fucked.
of
Apparently, I muted myself at some point. What did you guys not hear? Really?
Probably you talking about Ghost and not knowing that it was actually pronounced Ghost, and I thought you were kidding.
Oh, well, the stream apparently couldn't hear me, so I don't know how long I've been muted. Anyway, I'll just quickly recap what I have. I've got Aphex Twin's Come to Daddy and Behemoth by Ghost. Not the band Ghost that does rats and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, see, I
Synthwave
thought that's what
Ghost.
you were talking about.
No,
Oh, all right. So, yeah, you might not be
not the same Ghost.
pronouncing that right.
I said,
I'm like, oh, cool. They made a synthwave album.
I said Ghost, not Ghost.
Oh, I missed the O.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll take this out because I think this is clear. Actually, it's a 7-inch. It's clear. It's pretty cool. Phosphor is good. Still got some more stuff here. If I can get this back, come on. Come on.
Oh, he said that you're muted from when you started the vinyl on. So everything
Okay.
else is probably good.
Gotcha. There we go. All right. So next up, Death Grips, No Love Deep Web. I cannot take this out of the packaging because the album cover is Zach Hill's dick with the album title written on it, and I'm not trying to get TOS for penis on stream.
Fucking.
So
might. That sounds like something a pussy would say.
You need to vibrate
Some
higher.
dick on stream, man.
no, I can't. Earl the producer, thank you for the follow. Welcome. But yeah, Death Grips, No Love Deep Web. Got some good songs on it. Like No Love, where there's a live footage of MC Ride smashing an iMac while they're doing that song. It's great.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite Death Grips album.
You need to vibrate higher.
HM Radio, also thank you for the follow. Wow. A lot of follows this stream. I appreciate it. Anyway, next up, Kraftwerk, Trans Europe Express, my favorite Kraftwerk album. I love this one because it kind of flows pretty well. Cool thing about this album, the second disc sounds like one song, but it's actually like 5. Uh, it's just like, it sounds like one track that just kind of evolves over time, but it's like 5 different tracks, and you can't tell where one starts and the other ends, but I like that. A lot of good songs on here. The title track, basically the entire second disc of this, which starts with the title track. Showroom Dummies is great. Europe Endless. I love it. It also, like the other Kraftwerk album that I have, Man Machine, comes with a little booklet. Very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got photos of the band in it. It's really cool. And,
Is that as creepy as the mannequin?
no, it's like actual photos of the band and not mannequins. Let me see if I can do this shit. Yeah. And the vinyl on this one is clear, which is also neat. But I'm not going to take that out. Take my word for it. I'm lazy. And lastly, Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. My favorite Kendrick album. Maybe To Pimp a Butterfly is the favorite, but I like this one a little bit more. Slightly more.
Okay.
I'm not going to take this one out either because it's just black, but it's got some photos here. And the track list and all that stuff. But yeah, that's everything.
We Can Be Heroes.
Also, one more thing I wanted to mention before we close out here because it's kind of important. We lost MF Doom back in October, apparently, on Halloween, but I guess his family just finally decided to go public with it last week, and that fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really,
So
really, really big MF Doom fan. I've been pretty much blaring everything for like the past couple of weeks. And I might actually pick an album to talk about next week. I'm still thinking about it. Which, speaking of which, I guess we can figure out albums for next week.
Yeah.
I already know what I'm going to pick, so I'll go on and say it. I am going to be picking Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny for next week.
Yes.
Because I have tormented all of you with Hellfire, so I think it's time we bring some Hellfire in the best kind of way to the podcast.
So I won't pick the. I was gonna pick an album that wasn't very good, but I'll pick one that I actually like. But now that means what album do I pick?
Well, I think I'm gonna go with
Do I pick?
Operation Doomsday, MF Doom. Do the first one. Why not?
Oh.
That's a classic.
I was actually going to say we need to talk about him at some point. I think I did last stream.
You might have mentioned it briefly. I was either gonna do Born Like This or maybe Black Bastards, the KMD album he did with his brother, but I think just do the first Doom album, Operation Doomsday.
It's so sad that he's gone, man. He had such good talent.
Yeah.
I think the last album that he put out was the Czarface collab, Czarface meets Metalface. That was like the last album he did, which was 2 years ago. I think that came out.
Was he working on an album at the time of death, or?
I don't think so. So a couple of just kind of loose tracks came out with the last GTA Online update. There's a couple of tracks that he's featured on, but I don't think he was like working on anything major to my knowledge. Grateful this Steven isn't a PH.
As in STEPHEN.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh. I guess I could do that one.
Burning? Hold on. I'll be right back.
Numbers. Okay. Strength of numbers, actually. Yeah, that one's actually a long one. I might actually do this one. Stahlman, ever heard of Fever 333?
Band?
I gotta bounce out, guys. I gotta take care of some stuff around the house and work on my car some more.
Okay, I think we're pretty much done.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
gotta
pick this
go.
up. Peace.
So,
I won't subject this to something that I know we won't like, so I'll pick something that at least I like.
Fever 3 rap rock. Rap metal. Sounds familiar, but like
I'm picking 333 Strength in Numbers. It's their like second album. They're like a rap rock, like rap metal kind of band. They also have their songs are more politically charged.
wait, what the fuck?
yeah, that's what I'm kind of reading. I'm like, well, this could be actually like really good or really bad.
Fuck, I always forget the I think his name's Jason Butler. I always forget his fucking the bigger
Yeah,
group.
it's just
Jason, yeah, I always
Let
forget
Live?
his bigger. Huh?
Let Live.
Yes, Let Live. I always forget that's his that's like the big project that he does. I personally just really fucking like the Fever 333. I like them not just because they're because of their music, but also because of their political stance.
I obviously am not picking it out a thing because I am a guest for this episode.
Apparently, Jason Butler is also
But-
the lead singer of band Pressure Cracks, which is a hardcore punk band.
All right, so he's got a decent track record.
Operation
he's also-
Doomsday is on Spotify, but it includes like a fuck ton of instrumentals that aren't.
Mm.
So tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and post this, but ignore the second disc.
Teddy already reacted to it. I posted it a minute ago. Me and Teddy love Jason Butler.
But yeah, well, thanks for having me, everyone. I swear the next time I'm on, I'm actually going to pick a decent album so that way, you know, Steve doesn't think I have ass taste in music.
Okay.
Okay.
I almost kind of feel like, can I be on the next episode so that way I can reassure him? But I'm like, no, that's kind of stretching my... It's kind of me crossing, like, you know, wearing out my welcome on that one. But
Yeah.
then again, I probably wore out my welcome with, all right, Nickelback. All right, Limp Bizkit.
God. One day you'll be on a podcast that's not cringy.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if we've got our picks, I'm gonna go ahead and close out stream here.